Ever looked at jumble of terms and thought there's no way this can be factorized? Hold up, what if I told you some terms just need the right squad to shine? Welcome to type 2 of our factorization masterclass, grouping of terms, where we play the matchmaker for algebra. This is Think Sharp Alley, where math stops being a monster and starts making sense. When the grouping of terms gives rise to common factor, then we follow this procedure. Let us understand this with the help of an example. So here first we will arrange the terms in proper groups. Here the terms are already arranged, so we don't have to stress about arrangement. So now let us group them. So we will group them in such a way that each group must have a common factor. So over here you can see I have taken the first two terms in one group such that A is the common factor and the next two terms in another group, and we can clearly see B is the factor. So we'll factorize each group, which means we'll take A common from here and B common from here. And if you notice, we have got a common factor, a factor which is common to each group. Take out that common factor and we'll write the remaining parts in a separate bracket. And this is the factorized form. So factorization by grouping is possible only if the given polynomial contains an even number of terms, that is either 4 or 6 or 8. Clear? Let us understand another example. So here apparently if you see, we do not have anything common in the first two terms. But in the next two terms, we can take PQ common. Isn't it so? So let's try it out. Let's keep 1 plus P as one group and this as another group. Let us try to factorize since nothing is common from 1 plus P. So we write 1. But after taking PQ common, because HCF of PQ and P square Q is PQ, right? Remember the least power of the variable comes common. So from P and P square it's P and Q, same power is there. So Q comes common, PQ. So we have again a factor which is common to both the parts. So let us take out the common factor and we are left with 1 plus PQ. Let us see another example. So in this question you see from the first two terms there is nothing common. And is there anything common coming from the next two terms? Qy minus Px. No, right? So here we need to arrange the terms properly before grouping. So let us arrange the terms. So with xy I am taking qy because we can see we have one y common, and with minus pq minus px. You could have taken xy with minus px because we have x common over here too, and you would have arrived at the same result. This is very random. You just need to choose which two terms can be grouped together so that we can get something common. Now let us factorize each group. From the first group we have y common, and from the next group we have p common. Did you notice the change of sign while putting the bracket? Because minus we have taken common. It was minus pq minus px. So I've taken minus common, written px, and hence it has become plus pq. So we have x plus q common and we are left with y minus p. Interesting, right? Alright, let's take a look at this next expression. At first glance, this might look like it's already in a neat factorized form. You might think, well, the brackets are already there, the groups are made, job done, but hold on. Let's dig a little deeper. Can we take anything common from these two parts? Unfortunately, no. These terms don't have any common factor we can pull out directly. So here's the catch. Even though this expression looks grouped, it's not ready for factorization yet. We need to multiply the brackets out and regroup the terms in a smarter way, a way that helps us find common factors. Now, before I move ahead, show you how it's done, pause the video right here. Take a minute or two and try expanding and regrouping the terms on your own. You know by now that's how we roll in these videos. You only get the full value out of this masterclass if you pause, attempt, and then resume. So go ahead. Alright, if you've given it a shot, let's walk through it together. We start by first multiplying it and opening the bracket. So ab into x square, ab into y square, xy into a square, and xy into b square. Then we can regroup it like this, abx square together with a square xy. Again, you could have taken b square xy. Okay, so I have grouped these two together, first and third, and second and fourth together. So from the first group, you see we can take ax common, and from the second group we can take by common. And guess what? Both groups now have bx plus ay common. So let's take out the common factor and we get this. Neat, right? So the secret was in realizing that the brackets weren't actually helping until we expanded and regrouped. That's the power of smart factorization. Now let's have a look at the next expression to factorize. Now what if I told you the secret of factorizing this expression is not in expanding but in observing? Like in previous example, we had multiplied, expanded the brackets, regrouped and factorized. Over here we'll look for patterns. Sometimes all it takes is rearranging and grouping the right terms to make the common factors pop out. Like a puzzle, the right pieces just need to be placed side by side to reveal the solution. So here also no expansion needed. If you see carefully, here we have x minus y whole square. From this part, if we just rearrange these two terms, first we write plus qx and then minus qy, we can take q common. And from this part also we can take 3 common, we can get x minus y, the same thing over here. So let's rearrange it and write it properly. As you can see, I have flipped these two, exchange its place, and so we have got q into x minus y, 3 taken common, x minus y. So isn't the common factor popping out? Right, x minus y. So let's take it outside. And we are left with, so it was x minus y whole square, so 1x minus y is left, plus q plus 3. Let's just multiply p inside and that's it, done, dusted. We'll move on to the next example. Let's see if you can figure out the common pairs. Here, do you think we will expand this? No, we have ax plus by. In front we have ax. Can you find by anywhere? Oh yes, we spotted it. So let's bring these two together and write it side by side. So did you find your right grouping? This is the first group, this is the second group, and this is the third group. Let's factorize. Nothing is coming common, so 1 from this part remains as it is, and from the last two terms we can take a common. So now the common factor from these three groups is ax plus by. So let us bring out the common factor and I'm left with 1 minus 1ax plus by remains plus a. Remember there is a minus sign. So when we take off this bracket, the sign inside will change. And this is our answer. Now let's take a look at this expression. Again we have got brackets here. So the big question is, do we let them stay or do we remove them? If you look closely, the brackets here aren't helping us at all. The expressions inside the bracket y plus z and x minus y are all different, nothing common that we can pull out straight away. So this is one of those questions where we have to multiply and simplify. So let's start multiplication. A cube x remains as it is, a square gets multiplied with x and y. So we get a square x minus a square y. A also gets multiplied, so we get minus ay minus az, because minus plus minus, the sign changes and minus z remains as it is. Now it's time for grouping them. So we group these two terms together because we can pull out a common factor. Again, these two terms forms another group, and the third group is the last two terms. So let's take common. From this two we can take a square x common, so we'll be left with only 1a plus 1. From the next part we can take ay common, so we'll be left with again a from here and nothing, which means 1. And y sign is plus because we have taken minus common, right? So whenever we take minus common, so inside the bracket the sign changes. Once again from here we have taken z common, so we are left with a, again plus and 1. So now we have a common factor from each of these groups, which is a plus 1. So let's take it outside and write the remaining terms in a separate bracket. Now this is our final answer. Do you think we can take A common from here? If your answer is no, great. But if you're still struggling with taking common or grouping, then maybe you should go back and watch our type 1 video. That's where we have practiced all the basic taking common skills. I'll link it right up here for you. Once you're confident with that, this will feel like a breeze. Alright, now it's your turn. Here's an expression for you to try. Once you're done, let me know in the comments what you got. I'll be waiting to see your answers. And that's a wrap on grouping of terms. Who knew a little shuffle here and there could open the door to neat factorization? Coming up next, we are diving into the world of algebraic identities. A plus b whole square, a minus b whole square and a square minus b square. Your VIP passes to faster and smarter math moves only on Think Sharp Alley.